Hello. Hi, welcome and thank you so much for being here today. Let's get you a little bit of clarity, see what is going on and what would be helpful for you to know. This is a timeless collective reading, so see what feels like it fits, like it resonates. Always follow and trust that divine guidance that's in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer is in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, they're based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's dive right on in. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What is the most prominent energy today to know about? Some of you are going on a journey and you don't want to be tied up anymore. This came out upside down, so no longer feeling like you are going to restrict yourself or there are restrictions against you. You just want to, I don't know, open the door and go. Hit on the gas, get back to that crossroad, go a different direction. Maybe some of you are actually traveling for something specific. That could be a vacation, a visit. I do feel like if somebody was always busy before, they are absolutely making room to spend some time with you. Maybe you're going on a road trip together. Somebody knows that they were bound up to the, I don't know. I just heard the bush of confusion. So it's like they were tangled in the bushes before. Both of these cards have Luna moths. So maybe something is happening at night, or something is finally feeling like it's illuminated, like it makes sense. Even if it's not the whole journey or the whole solution, there's something about something right in front of you glowing differently. Even if it's just this decision at the crossroads. I feel like somebody had to leave some baggage behind, release what was tangling them up. I'm getting that even to make a choice to change something in your schedule, in their schedule. Maybe you're combining schedules together to see where you can, I don't know, mix something differently. Maybe there was a mix-up or confusion. I hear a lack of communication, but I'm getting misinformation or maybe having to read in between the lines before. Maybe you and somebody are meeting at that bridge, because I feel like that bridge swings. So maybe somebody is swinging back and forth on which direction to go at the crossroad. I feel like somebody kept going the same direction over here, and now somebody wants to go like where the other arrow is pointing. See what that's all about. I'm getting a new experience. So clarify, all tied up journey. You have a 2, maybe 223, but the 23 is a 5. So something is going to change here. Oh yeah, somebody's going to take action. Something's going to change really fast. Somebody's definitely hitting the gas, hopping the fence, getting across the bridge, clearing the way, and ready to move. If somebody was hesitating before, they're getting so itchy. They're I don't know. I see, like, even if somebody feels like whatever was restricting them there with those ropes, they're getting like superhero strength. Like the ropes are just busting apart. But maybe it is getting out of like untying something. Like I see a knot. Rose, come on over here. Don't be so far away. She's wandering a little farther than I like. So before I pull another card, I'm gonna go get that little scallywag. Hold on. She's being a good girl. She's actually under this bench here instead of on top of it this time. All right, let's see why somebody feels this need to finally act. Call to action. Maybe somebody's getting a phone call. I do, even these horses were like behind a fence. So I do feel like somebody felt fenced in. Like they didn't realize they had the horsepower to just jump that fence the whole time. Maybe somebody feels back into the energy of empowered or empowerment, powerful. I'm getting inner strength here too. So clarify 17-2-23. Maybe you've had a lot of patience waiting for somebody to take action, or maybe there's been a lesson that involves patience. Maybe somebody had to have some time to make plans for this journey, get out of a stuck situation, leave the uncomfortable comfort zone. Maybe also somebody's patience is wearing thin, or they know that the time is now. You've had a lot of patience so far, and they know that I'm getting kind of time is of the essence. At the bottom you have the world. So maybe it is a journey that has to do with a certain part of the world or connects to something online. You're getting to the end of this bridge, and there's something kind of, I don't know, in the fog up there. You can't quite see what's way ahead of you, but you can see the world of possibilities in front of you, and you have to pay attention to the step that you are on. Have patience in this journey. I am getting that it's more about the journey and the step you are on, the experience you are in, than getting too ahead of yourself, even if you can see something beautiful ahead. How maybe your whole world could change. Maybe this starts, I heard it starts with a phone call. You also have these lotuses coming out of usually they come out of the mud, out of a muddy water situation to blossom with a lot of strength. So, I also hear somebody with like a tool, like actually in the background here. So maybe this is about building something. Using the right tools. Maybe you're rebuilding something. Let's see. No, this is the one I grabbed. So this is the one we're going to do. So let's ask what is going on here. This journey, no longer feeling restricted or tied down, heading towards a big finale, into a new beginning, one step at a time. I hear idling. I feel like somebody was in their car and just letting their car idle. It's like they were wasting gas but getting nowhere. So tell us more. What do we need to know on all tied up, journey, action, patience, and the world? Oh, wow. Well, maybe that's why somebody's finally stepping into action. There's something that's a magnetic attraction. It's like a soul attraction. There's also something really grounded about a specific connection that you have. Maybe it felt alluring, like it was too good to be true. It could have been, if somebody believed, nah, it's just chemistry, it's just lust, it's just, initial attraction, that always goes away. I feel like if that was a situation and there's been a lot of distance or patience you've had, that didn't go away. I also feel like that might be the strength I saw, the inner strength behind somebody releasing something binding. Because I feel like that's something you like, it's like an attraction. There is a bind there, but it's not strings, it's not ropes, it's energy, it's different. It's something that feels just absolutely irresistible. Maybe also for some of you, you're going on a journey, or somebody's taking action towards you, getting in the car, hitting the gas because they can't even explain why you are so irresistible to them. I love this energy of flirting. I don't know why I just heard flirting with destiny. I like that. So what is this magnetic attraction about? I do feel like there is a difference. If somebody felt like that was always the rhythm of relationships or whatever, where it's really, it's really hot and heavy, there's a lot of chemistry, and then it just kind of fizzles away. I feel like there is something different about this connection coming in, or you already know about, where, I don't see the fizzling away part. I just feel like something keeps getting like relit. I actually feel like something gets better and better. Hey, That's really nice. All right, tell us about this magnetic attraction. What is another message to help the collective today to know about this connection, this attraction? Guess what came through again? Apparently you need to go on a journey. You need to go on vacation with someone. You can learn a lot about a person once you're, hitting the road, in the car, on the plane with them. There's also something where you need to be in a new location. You need to do something that is out of your normal daily grind rhythm thing. You need to maybe even go to some part of the world you've always wanted to visit, but never booked the ticket. It does say distance. So for some of you, you could be at a distance. Maybe this is a long distance situation for some of you. But I feel like for some of you, this person could be, right around the corner, but maybe there has been distance. That distance is going to get smaller. I feel like experiences are going to start to build. If for some of you, getting out of that, all tied up kind of energy over here is you needed to be the one to set some boundaries and purposely create some distance so you have more room for maybe someone new to come in, or even something you want to do just kind of on your own. There's something important about that purposeful distance. But then I see that attraction thing coming in that space. So distance, boundaries, far apart, getaway. Maybe some of you there's something about a tattoo. Maybe somebody has tattoos on their arm. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's relaxation or celebration because it's like she's holding a mimosa on the beach. But it could also be drawing a line in the sand, taking the right wave to shore to ground something, feeling really sure about someone, or I'm getting a comfortable energy here. She also looks like she's looking at the other beach, the other horizon. So maybe maybe it is, since you have a journey, maybe you can see something that's kind of just on the horizon. You can hear it almost like an echo in the ether. Like somebody is like, hello, 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 hello. But it's kind of far away. What is that song? I think that came through recently. So far away from me to hold, too far away. Hey. I think that's a Shimmer song that did come through recently. But interesting, because that's by the band Fuel. And I feel like somebody is not wasting that fuel anymore. They want to go the distance. And I feel like somebody maybe has to jump in and do some effort to get to the other shore. I stared at that, so we'll take it. You also have new love. For some of you, it's just, if it's a person you know, I'm getting that it's that rekindling. Somehow you always feel like you can renew something, even if you get into the daily grind or things get kind of boring or plateau, or, occasionally life puts something on hold. It's like you can just kind of jump back into the swing of things. But for some of you, you have somebody new coming in. You have this new love energy, falling in love again or all over. It's the honeymoon phase. You also have the travel. So maybe for some of you, you do need to plan a honeymoon or a honeymoon-like excursion. I heard excursion or experience with just you and that person. Childlike, moving on, new beginning. If some of you were dealing with somebody that you feel you had a lot of patience and they had a lot of growing up to do, I feel like maybe you created some distance. Maybe you even made yourself busy. But I do feel like somebody, if it's the one coming back, did some growing up. But I also get that this is so cute. It feels like, doesn't matter how old you are, it feels like it's fresh and vibrant and young, and you're like a teenager that just wants to make out in the back seat of your car or in a crowd or wherever. I am getting a lot of making out energy all of a sudden. So maybe you really like somebody's lips, you like the way they kiss. Moving on. For some of you, you're moving on to better horizons here. Maybe even for some of you, this is not everybody, but maybe for some of you, you are doing online dating. You meet somebody. I would say don't take too long on, making that distance all about being a pen pal with someone, because I feel like that for some of you could be creating this little bit of a fantasy like perception of who you think that person actually is before you even smell their cologne, feel what their lips feel like, or have a good sense of their actual energy when they're in your world in front of your face, because that might make a difference. I feel like you need to go on a date, pretty soon, to at least see how you feel, use your gut. I do feel like some of you are going to really like someone, and I feel like some of you might actually be the one to create some distance, because if you have that getaway there, and if you are on your first date and all that you can think about is, man, this is you're not like the pen pal I thought you were, and this date isn't quite going the way you planned, then I do feel like for some of you, what you thought was irresistible, you might have no problem, creating closure on a situation. I do feel like you're going to do it with kindness, but strength. But I do feel like for some of you, if it's not the first, date, maybe it's the next date. I keep seeing for some of you, for whoever it is you are going to end up connecting to, something gets better and better and better and better. It just keeps getting better. So if you're not in that it always gets better situation, there's definitely something better on the horizon, right around the corner. You meet on vacation, right down the road, across the world for you. And it definitely wants to come in. But with this new love, maybe you have to create room and space for the new to come in, even if that's just in your mind or it's just a letting go kind of energy. So let me look through my boxes here and let's get a little more clarity. All right, we're going to go mysterious. Let's get a couple of mystery messages for you. Let me show you how big this deck is. Anything could come through. Let's see what some extra messages that would be helpful for you are. What are some extra helpful focus points for the collective right now? If you're on a date, if you're with your honey, if you're in an interview for a job, just be you. No need for a mask. No need for, I'm getting unapologetically you. I also feel like that's why somebody is falling in love with you. Why somebody's head over heels and attracted to you. Because you're not trying to be like everybody else. You maybe even really embrace your uniqueness, your differences, your style, your perception upon things. I feel like somebody really values that you aren't like anybody else. I also feel like you allow somebody else to just be who they are. You love their quirks. I'm kind of getting that you love somebody's imperfections. You kind of think that's actually kind of perfect. What else would be another message for the collective? You're on my mind all of the time. I mean, you have this magnetic attraction. Even if there was a lot of distance between you and a person, they're thinking about you. When they're on that business trip across the world, they're thinking about making out in the back of the car with you, rolling around on the floor with you, how maybe you just kind of do your own thing, maybe how patient you have been with them, how you, I don't know, for some of you, I feel like I actually see a flipping back and forth between a masculine and feminine, but between that dynamic, because it's the polarities here with the magnet. Like, I feel like somebody, if you're the feminine energy, they like that you're a go-getter, or you know when to actually take action and just jump right into a situation. But I'm also getting where you know when to hold back and wait for the right timing. Either way, masculine or feminine. I hope that made sense. And if you didn't think somebody's thinking about you, they are. All the time. I feel like if they try to not think about you, they think about you even more. So what is Another message, helpful. Oh yeah. See, I showed you how big this deck of cards is, right? For some of you, expect it. It's coming in. You're making out of the back of somebody's car here, or rolling around in the yard, having some fun under the sheets. You have a hot romance that wants to come in, man. What is that like? Somebody definitely thinks you're hot. Hot stuff. Nice. I like all these. So maybe that's why somebody's, you know, going on a journey. Maybe some of you are even having somebody travel pretty far to see you. Oh, that just flew, and that was underneath. Wow, the other one flew, and guess what's underneath? Okay, all my cards are all over the place. So we have some extra bonus messages that the wind wanted you to see. I'm going to get my dog because she just went that way. I'm going to get the cards that flew that way. Let's see what is going on here for you guys. All right, hold on. I'm all over the place right now. I successfully got the cards, but not my dog. I don't know what she's doing over there by the garden, but I can see her, so we're just gonna go with it for now. All right, so these cards wanted to blow, and the sun wanted to come out. Somebody wants you to come out and play, to dive into, I don't know, the bath of tranquility here. You're not just gonna hear a trumpet. It's gonna be as loud as it's like a tuba here. Maybe somebody plays the tuba. I'm also seeing with this thing, it's like you're two peas in a pod, and it also looks like there's a floating octopus. So maybe it is a multitasking situation, or you're getting on the same page since that book is stuck in the tree. If it was a cloudy day, clarity is coming, happiness is in store for you. There's also something where this cage, because there's a bird in a cage. Somebody's ready to have more freedom, or this is a partnership that feels like freedom. I feel like that's why, even if you have that cage door open, somebody wants to come back to where they feel secure, but I'm getting more of a nest and not a cage. I feel like somebody's leaving the cage and building a nest. It's also the one. So whatever I saw with that go-getter thing, that's the one. That's the masculine. I am, you're gonna do it. Solar plexus, maybe, kind of energy, believing in yourself, believing that you can be adaptable or bendable if the winds of change come, because there's something about this bridge and its flexibility is why it's strong. So maybe you have to be flexible as, where's your other card? I try to put these under this thing here, as changes occur in your life. Somebody's out of the cocoon. Like, I see like eating the nectar of life, or finding what is nutritious, what partnership is nutritious, what people around you, what environments are nutritious. It's feeling this energy of regeneration, growth, metamorphosis, becoming someone or something completely different than that last cycle, than that last partnership, than that last go around. And it is the energy of cycles here. So I brought this up just to use as, you know, keeping my cards down, but let's dive in to the tarot. Let's get you a little more clarity. I want to ask about this change, because it seemed to be the winds of change that brought that to the forefront here. So let's see what's going to change. Tell us about these changes going on, coming in soon, already occurring. What would be helpful to know about this changing situation? A change in your attitude, change in your mindset. Oh, it's a change from feeling really hurt and heartbroken, betrayed, to finally healing. And that healing has to do with getting out of what was no longer building, what was no longer working. Maybe that was what was keeping somebody tied up. Maybe somebody was resisting change because that change was working through some heartbreak. Maybe it's because of working through some heartbreak or some sorrow that somebody feels finally called to action. indolence and sorrow. The Eight of Cups, the Three of Swords, those are heavy cards, but that's what's changing. So if the Eight of Cups is the upside down, I always see that as the boomerang, which is when somebody went on a journey of self-discovery, self-transformation journey, and discovered more about who they really are in new territory, in new situations, you know, in that expansive energy. So even if there's a circulating back around to home base or the nest, or the cage in some circumstances, how they see that old circumstance is different, that old partnership, that old whatever, because they are someone different. So, I mean, and that can be in a grand light, or can also be seeing something in the reality for what it is. There's definitely a growing up here, but somebody has to go through that bittersweet self-realization that something that they put a lot of time, effort, energy, and sometimes love, effort into wasn't building, it wasn't fulfilling. It started to look like a big old mess. It's no longer a structure. It's not even a house of cards. It's just like a bunch of garbage around the house that's never getting cleaned up. So this is somebody looking at that and be like, I don't know, like, you don't want to help clean up this mess. You don't want to put in the effort. There's something, you know, I feel like somebody keeps trying to pick up those pieces and somebody else just keeps making a mess. And there's usually a really big, hard decision to leave that mess with a bitter, maybe even hurtful energy. It's hard to walk away from what you know, even if what you know is not really a happy place. So maybe you are aware, or maybe not even aware, that this was somebody else's journey, but maybe this was your journey. Maybe this is part of that regeneration, because in order for the caterpillar to become a butterfly, it has to have that weird ass cycle where its cells are a big old morphy mess of nothing before they put themselves back together as an entirely new being, and yet with the same DNA. It's like the cells had to be put back together in a different formation. It's the same puzzle pieces, but when they're put together a different way, it makes a new picture. And it could also just be you walking away from something. If it was constantly heartbreaking to you, always trying your patience, not really feeling like you had this happiness or this illumination in your life. Let's ask. Clarify the Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups. I want to actually look up indolence. I'm going to do that. I like when I get a little nerdy on you guys. So somewhere over here, I'm going to put the actual definition of indolence. Also, with this particular Three of Swords, you are pointing these three swords towards the drain very specifically. So something that was plugged with dirty water, or that lotus that I saw, that muddy situation, something actually had to go down the drain. You had to let something, you know, go so you can fill something back up clean. What would be helpful to know? It had to be releasing. You have that just be you. Release that judgmental energy. You have judgment, the Aeon. This is somebody who's looking at a past life here, or looking at all the different life lines or lifetimes of different people that went through something, you know, to be put on that black on the wall. And this person is here in modern times, in the today, looking at the reflection of somebody that looks like they're from like 300 years ago. That person is holding the baggage. The new person is not. This is where you get the call from the divine that whatever cycle you went through, did you learn from it? Would you do it the same? And the things that you did that you are proud of, you continue to do. It's a higher calling here. It's knowing that in your soul, where's your change? In your soul, something needed to change. And I feel like with judgment, it's making that conscious choice to do so. Not just having it forced upon you like the Tower. It's where it's more of a choice. But you are reflecting on the past here. You have that symbol of the snake eating its own tail on her t-shirt. But you're looking at the past differently now. Whatever it was, you're looking at that old cycle, that old partnership, that old you, with a gentle, compassionate energy of acceptance and love. And then you're turning that energy back towards what would be the next card is the world, towards that ending, or heading towards that portal of possibility, that new beginning. It's also releasing judgment on anybody else's journey. If others learned their karmic cycle or not. Sometimes people will repeat that same cycle with the same person in the same environment over and over and over and over and never learn. Sometimes it's people that have many different, different circumstances or situations, but they're all so similar to each other. It's like they keep getting into that same, almost the same cycle, because they haven't learned to break the pattern yet, to break the mold. I'm feeling like you should be gentle with anyone else going through something. We're all human. We're all trying. Sometimes you have to repeat a class. Sometimes you got to go backwards, and sometimes you get to elevate and skip a couple of grades. But this is also somebody having a huge. I did see the baritone or the trombone or the tuba over there. So it's somebody knowing in their soul that they get another chance. It's coming in. What are they going to do different? Let's ask about the Aeon. Number 20, judgment. Clarify what this is. I guess if it's upside down, it's somebody who's just judgy, hard on themselves, not graceful with others, thinking that because they've been through something, they know what it's like to actually be in somebody else's shoes, in their emotions behind somebody's eyes. And you're never gonna know what it's like to fully be in someone else's shoes, even if there is a beautiful reflection or a soulful reflection on somebody else. I am getting very big past life energy with this card specifically, just because that person looks like they're from a different time period. And this person looks like they're just almost getting a little vision of what they didn't do right or could have done better in a past life. And I feel like they're getting the chance to do it different now. Maybe it's also with a certain person. My dog is here? Yes, she's here. Why is judgment here? Tell us more about the Aeon judgment. Because you want to be building in this reality different. You have that scaffolding there. I feel like this is maybe, all right, we're switching a little bit to work, but because so much love came out before, I feel like this is building together with another person in a partnership, or putting on some solid energy and effort and experience to make something grow where you feel completely valued. I don't know why, not undermined. Because when you have the Three of Pentacles, there is something that's in the works. Something is just being built. It's not finished yet. You can kind of see what it could be. It's strong, it has a good structure, but there still needs to be more details. I feel like this is an ever-flowing work in progress. It's almost like it's constantly going to be perfecting itself, and it's never going to be perfect because it's something you always want to continue to work on. If this is upside down, it is looking at whatever environment, partnership where you couldn't be yourself, where you always felt tied down, like something couldn't continue to evolve and grow, where you had a disconnect with the world that you were in, where you weren't valued or heard for your time, energy, effort, skills, or opinions. And like, I'm getting like, it's almost like you felt like you weren't given a proper go or a proper chance. And if this is all what's changing, you're releasing that. And you're going to where you're valued, where your effort is appreciated, where you work well with being on your own, another individual, or in a whole group. For some of you, you could be like moving to a brand new building, or there's something new that you are building in your life. I feel like something is changing with plans, whatever that is, whatever, maybe what you planned is not what's going to be. Maybe you are planning something big. I just heard successful with someone else. Maybe it starts with a flirty conversation. I also feel like some of you are going to have, I don't know what I see here, like almost like you're inspired by something outside of your normal everyday world, even if it's just something that you see online. And I feel like you're taking a risk on building something, and yet you know in the core of your soul the risk is worth the effort. I'm not sure exactly what that is. There's definitely something in the works here though, something under construction. I am getting a little bit, all right, so with that construction energy, that always reminds me of one of my weird ways to describe the Hierophant. Because rules can be in place and work, you know, for a reason, for something to flow. But then you get a pothole, or, you know, a broken window, or all of a sudden there's more tourists or more, you know, population in a city. You have to put something under construction, a little time of weird for something to get back to running smoothly. So maybe this is thinking outside the box, or something that's kind of not traditional coming in your life, or not what you traditionally thought that you would be in. And I am kind of getting that that is a person. Maybe because you have this just be you, you're really different. Like for someone, or you and someone, or I'm getting that you and someone have a different vibe together than either of you has had with anybody else, like ever. Maybe you've even had past lifetimes with a specific person. That means somebody's had a couple of lifetimes in that journey to get to you. That would be a lot of patience that a soul had to have. And yet there's something about when it's not of this world, but the ethereal world, that timing is not the same as here. Timing is a weird thing, man. You know, when you're really like doing something fun with someone, it feels like you just want more time. How did it go by so fast? And when you're like, you know, someplace where you're really bored, or you feel tied down or restricted, it feels like it's taking forever. Why are these changes not happening sooner? Let's see. Let's clarify. I have a big old mess in front of me here. Let's just get you another one. What is in the works? For some of you, you might meet somebody at your job. You and somebody could be like a power couple and start to work on something together. I'm also getting a little bit of, I mean, here and here. I am getting a little, and here. Hold on. Let's get all your hot cards together. I am seeing that there might be somebody that has a totally different like career or job than you, but maybe you have some like sweet pillow talk. That's not just pillow talk, but it's actually kind of business. That would mean that you respect this person's opinion. Maybe you see that they have a totally different viewpoint from, you know, your coworkers or something like that. Wow, I just heard your ex. Maybe this person is not comparable to an ex. I'm getting something different with the conversations. All right, let's see. I definitely see you and somebody building something together. I mean, that might be like, I don't know, a painting or some kind of project. Maybe you make a song together. Maybe you actually design a home. Maybe somebody's an architect or works in construction, plays an instrument, works in a library, does something with the ocean since you have the octopus there. What else? Let's get another one. Oh, it's beautiful. Whatever you have, it's bringing temperance. I just said something about making a painting together. Look at this card. Oh my God, wait. I put this down. You are definitely manifesting each other. You're manifesting this new beginning, this hot romance, this freedom, this clarity, this happiness, this love. You have the Magician, another that I am energy, and did you have something else that was a 1? I don't even know, it's such a mess here. Yeah, the Sun. And yeah, somebody's making music. I said something about writing a song, right? Maybe somebody's really artistic, or maybe because there's a computer back there, someone's good with like the numbers, the web design, something like that, and somebody else is like the more free spirit here, you know, really thinks outside the box. They're like, nah, I like to use the sidewalk as my canvas. Why use the typical canvas? Everyone else does that. I got a better idea. You have an angel of protection helping you find the perfect balance in all situations, at all points of this journey and every crossroad that you get to. Because not every crossroad is going to be the same. Not every person in your world is going to have the same personality, the same mindset, the same opinions, the same emotional, I heard emotional frequency, the same frequency. So you have to find your center, your truth in all of those circumstances. This is the divine masculine. I feel like this for me is the perfect union card. It is a Sagittarius energy. Also, you have the Magician here, so you have Virgo / Gemini. Anything else? I just heard Aquarius. But I said something about being timeless, and then you have infinity here. This is the divine masculine and feminine, the unlike coming together and creating beautiful harmony. Tapping into the divinity of that angel, the spiritual realm, and taking that inspiration and painting your earth, painting your world the colors you want to see it. Maybe you're getting to paint it colors you didn't even know existed. Maybe you're bringing colors into someone's life they didn't even know were real colors. You know, the spiritual energy. She also has wings. There is freedom here. There's also something because there's daffodils coming out of the side of the sidewalk. The daffodils are like that first pop of spring is here. Summer is like around the corner. You know, something that was under the surface, that bulb for a couple seasons, all of a sudden breaches the surface, breaks ground, and blossoms this beautiful yellow, sunshiny color. It's like the hope that you see, like, the season's gonna change, it's gonna be different. You know, if even this, it's blending so many energies. That looks confusing. Look at that sign. It's like, walk, no, don't walk. Walk, no, don't walk. So maybe somebody was back and forth. So what does your soul say? What is that balance between your logic and your intuition? Both are important. You know, if it's something that needs to be fixed, that construction needs to come and like rewire that road sign. It's like, dude, it's blinking both to go and to not go. Then you know what you do? You look one way, you look the other way. Are there any cars coming? All right, no, I guess it's good now. Now's the time to go. You trust yourself. Here, it's putting energy and effort into the tools you have right around you right now, the people you know right now, to start to make some spiritual magic in your world. To take that inspiration and use it to make some big changes in your life. There's definitely somebody thinking here. I feel like there had to be something rewritten. It's like it wasn't quite right before. You had to revise something, rewrite something, change the key or the tone or the signature of something. Or take something and make it the signature about your uniqueness. I hear add a little personality. You actually have 4 flames around you, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that in the Magician card before. And it's also like there's a conductor's thing here. So it's like you're not just writing this music, you are probably publishing it yourself, and then you are going to be the conductor of this experience. Maybe you have to step back into your own narrative. Pay attention to the thoughts you are thinking, what you are manifesting, what you believe in, and leave that openness that it can be even bigger and brighter and grander than even what you think of. Even that good idea might have a bigger epiphany moment coming in. Upside down, it's not magic, it's manipulation. It's not, it's not coming up with something that felt authentic and it was a true conversation. It was a planned elevator speech to put your pitch out there to get the sales quota. It's selling a product you don't even believe in. It's living a life you don't feel authentic in. And if whatever you are going towards feels like it's, I don't know, you're used to the one way, you're used to going around that crossroad around and around, but something new, I don't know, it seems really hard. Trust yourself each process, each point, that you can adjust and adapt to something when it gets there. You can't foresee all the problems when you're inventing something, but you can see what is working and take away the variable energy that is not. I do feel like you are inventing something here. You're creating something here. In both of these, you got this painting and this music. You're tapping into meditation, receiving divine inspiration, stability with those 4 flames, or interesting, maybe this is a divine partnership because you got those 4 flames, like the 4 of rods, which is beyond celebration. It's the snapshots of your life you feel so grateful you got to have and that you said yes to. So let's get you one final message, because I do think Rose has wandered off a little too far and I can't see her. One more final message, helpful for you. Of course it's not just one. One fell upside down. I'm not going to read that one. The 3 that are upright, let's just read these at the end and see what Spirit has a lot to tell you here. So you are not moving too slowly. Drop the self-induced pressure. You are at a sweet spot between taking care of yourself and still making advancements on your goal. On this path, there is no such thing as being behind. Smile, breathe, carry on. It's time to stop letting worry rule you. Instead, get excited about your future and what it will bring. What energy and emotion do you put out? I did see that emotional vibration thing. Emotion you put out, it comes back to you with a little conscious effort on your part. That happy ending can and will be yours. Believe that. Don't believe in the doubt or get latched onto the worry or let that self-sabotage you or tie you up because you think, it could never work out. You might have to try something 283 times, but when it works out, then it was worth all that effort. When a door doesn't open, don't waste your energy trying to make it open. It's closed for a reason. You are being redirected to something far bigger and better. Endings are a part of, you had cycles, part of the cycle of life. They make way. They part the golden path for you to have new beginnings and opportunities. That's what wants to come in. So don't try to bang down a locked door. Find the open one and walk through with open arms. With this, I bid you adieu. I love you so much. I hope this reading was helpful. I look forward to seeing you so soon. Thank you for being here with me and the little one that I got to go find. And I'll see you soon. Bye.